Welcome to another edition of the Wranglers Roundup, talking Northern Arizona Wranglers football with Coach Les Moss and the Wranglers broadcast team of James Poovey and Ed Cole. Let's ride.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the Colt Grill here in beautiful Prescott Valley, Arizona for another edition of the Northern Arizona Wranglers Roundup. We're excited to talk Wranglers football here tonight. My name is James Poovey, alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole. Ed, we get the advantage tonight of coming in here after 2 straight wins. We're going to have some fun talking some Wranglers football tonight. We got some great guests coming on as well with us tonight.
James, folks, the only problem with a bye week is that we missed a game last week.
Right.
We were so excited to do another game after the 2-game winning streak that this football team is on. We wanted more football, but luckily we're going to get more football this Saturday when the Vegas Nighthawks come to town.
Yeah, the Vegas Nighthawks are going to come here. We're going to host them this time. Obviously, we played them for the first game of the season. Took a 22-9 loss up there in Las Vegas in the brand new Dollar Loan Center. But since then, Ed, this team has been on a tear, and we are 2-1 overall on this very young season.
It really is exciting to see this team just mature over the last 3 weeks so rapidly, folks. Just the win over Bay Area and the win over San Diego, 2 quality home victories, and hopefully it'll culminate with the 3rd victory over the Vegas Nighthawks on Saturday night over at the Pinnacle Bank Field at Findlay Toyota Center.
But before we get to Saturday night, we got the Wranglers Roundup on tap here tonight, coming to you live from the Colt Grill this evening. We're going to have special guest Coach Les Moss is going to join us first. We'll also be joined by wide receiver Glen Gibbons Jr., who has 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games. And then we're also going to talk to the IFL Defensive Player of the Week last week, Mr. Vada King, our linebacker, and he's been on a tear as well, Ed.
As superfan Eddie Hill likes to call him Super Vada. Or Darth Vader.
Darth Vader. That's exactly right.
He could be Super Vader too. He could be Superman. He may as well be.
Make no mistake, the force has been with him at least for the last couple of weeks here as well.
Absolutely.
But we're going to have a great night talking Northern Arizona Wranglers football. So stay with us here. We'll take a short break and bring on the head coach, Mr. Les Moss. He'll join us here right after the break. You're watching the Northern Arizona Wranglers Roundup right here from the beautiful Colt Grill in Prescott Valley, Arizona. Stay with us. We'll come right back here with head coach Les Moss right after the break.
There's a little piece of magic in the heart of the Verde Valley, where adventure is encouraged. Whether you're whining and dining, rocking and rolling, or pushing and pulling, it's your adventure. Play however you choose.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to the Colt Grill here in beautiful Prescott Valley, Arizona. The Northern Arizona Wranglers Roundup on the air. We're pleased now to be joined by the head coach of the Northern Arizona Wranglers, Mr. Les Moss. Coach, I've been waiting to ask you, how are you doing this evening? 2 straight wins. This team is 2-1 overall. A lot different mood than when we got together here last time 3 weeks ago tonight.
Yeah, it's good to be 2-1. It's good to win our last 2 games. It's never as good or as bad when you go back and watch the film, but we are a young team that's maturing. We're hitting different situations as the season goes on. Some of them were passing the test. Some of them were not doing so good, but at least we won the last 2, and that's very satisfying.
Coach, did you see this ascent over 3 weeks after what happened in Vegas, and then the team comes off and plays very well against Bay Area, and then they followed it up the week after with a quality victory over at San Diego? Did you see this team mature and play the way they're playing this quickly?
Yeah, I think we felt in training camp that once we got a game or 2 under our belt, this team was going to mature pretty quick, and they have. They've done a good job of learning this game of indoor professional, the IFL, the Indoor Football League, and the different situations that arise throughout the game. We don't have a lot of veteran players on our roster, so it's good to see them grow. They are a close group. They really enjoy working together. They enjoy practice. They enjoy coming to work, and it's always fun when people enjoy the environment and are working hard. Everybody's pulling the rope in the same direction, and it's that's a great feeling.
And one of the things you always want to have, if you want an infection in your football team, it's because of victories, right, Coach?
Oh yeah, it's I mean, when you lose a game, you learn a lot of lessons, and we've been able to win a couple games and learn some good lessons also. So we're just going to continue to build and get better, and hopefully string a few more wins together.
Now, obviously, you guys had a bye week last week, had the week off. The guys got a good chance to rest and recharge. I'm assuming you guys got back together today for the first time. What was the mood of the ball club today as you guys got back together, and now as you get ready to practice and prepare for this Vegas Nighthawks game coming up this Saturday?
I think we missed each other. It was good to get back in the building together and get back to work. And we got to go over our last game and correct the mistakes that we made and things like that. And we'll really start our preparation for Vegas tomorrow.
When it comes to your defense, Coach, you are, if I can pull up the stats here, I'm a stat guy. You've got the number one defense in the indoor football league. James, I love notes.
Yes.
Number one defense in the IFL in yards given up per game. Number 2 scoring defense. Number 3 rush defense, and number 1 pass defense. Did you see this defense come together? Because something special is really brewing on that side of the football when it comes to the Wranglers.
Yeah, they've been, since day one in training camp, they've been picking things up very quickly. We have a very good pass rush, which always helps the back end. We put a lot we do a lot on the defensive side of the ball, and they're doing a great job of adapting to this game, and we're adding more as we go, and they're picking it up very quick. So they're doing a great job, and they're making our offense better because we have to practice against that every day, and they make us better. And now we're starting to have more success in practice as an offense, which is giving us confidence in that regard also.
Talking about the offensive side of the football, Coach, how has this offense been able to gel over the last couple of weeks? Obviously, that Bay Area game was night and day compared to the first game against the Vegas Nighthawks. What do you attribute to that, the offense coming together so quickly and being able to really put a lot of points on the board relatively fast?
Well, Coach Windsor's doing a great job with the offense, and our offensive line is playing pretty good. The receivers are learning the game quickly, and obviously Caleb has adapted. It's night and day from his first game, which we knew that was going to happen.
Sure.
You got to play this game. This is a game that you got to play. It's not like anything that these players have ever played before. It's the decisions are a lot quicker in this game, and really this game really helps you adapt to the outdoor game a lot faster because of the things that happen in such a quick time frame.
Yes.
When you look at your quarterback, you talked about Caleb and his growth over the first 3 weeks of the season. What are you seeing from him as far as progressions from Vegas to Bay Area, then to San Diego, and we'll see on Saturday what he comes out looking like against Vegas?
Well, he's taken a good leadership role. He's he learned quick from his mistakes in that Vegas game, but again, this is a game that you got to play, and he hadn't had any live reps since 2019, his senior year in college, and so he hadn't knocked the rust off, and the jump that he made from the first game to the second game was incredible, and really for him, it's being patient, taking the check downs, doing the things that he needs to do. We don't have to score a touchdown every single play. The field's only 50 yards long, but you can take what the defense gives you and be patient with it. And he's done a great job of managing the game the last couple games.
So, Coach, the real question is now 2-1 going forward. How do you keep this train rolling? How do you keep the attitude positive, keep the guys working hard? Obviously, you said they love being together, which is a huge component to a successful football team. How do you just keep this thing going in the right direction?
Well, we just go to work every single day. I mean, that's, every day we try to win the day, and, you want to know at the end of the day, and, the next day you get up and you go fight again. And they've got a great mentality about them. They come to work every day. They compete against each other. They enjoy competing against each other. And, we have situations where they're going at it best on best, and they're going at it. We're trying to score on offense. They're trying to stop us on defense. and they enjoy that part of it, and they're working hard, and that's all we can ask.
This seems like the kind of team, coach, that you don't really have to nudge forward a whole lot. It almost might be kind of grabbing them, hey, hold back a little bit there. That's what you want as a coach, right? You want guys that are wanting to get after it.
Oh yeah, they do. It was great to see. During the bye week, we had a lot of guys that stuck around here, and they were in there working on their crafts. They were outside running, making sure they were getting their conditioning in and everything. So they want success. You can tell by the way they prepare, they want success. And so far, we're doing a decent job of that.
We give so much love to the offense and defense. What can you say about Brandon Fisher? He's come in and he's 12 of 13 on his extra points so far in the last 2 games. How important is he to the success of the football team? We know how important special teams are, Coach.
Special teams. If you watch our special teams, and that's always a mark of a good football team. Our kickoff coverage, I don't know what it is on the stats, but we got to be leading the league in kickoff coverage. That's the first play defense. Brandon's done a great job. I mean, he's done an excellent job. We had 1 missed extra point. He made a big field goal last week. He's done a great job. His kickoffs are awesome. I mean, we got the rouge last week on the opening kickoff because he was able to squirt that thing between his legs, and he's really doing a good job, and the guys love him. I mean, he's one of the guys, and he's doing an excellent job.
You mentioned the rouge and what Fisher's done and what Boom Williams has done as far as positioning. When he gets the ball on special teams, what he can do, he can almost break it almost on every given play on special teams.
Yeah, I mean, our special teams have been really a bright spot. And it really in all 3 games. I mean, that was 3 of our points were in the game against Vegas. So, but our special teams have been good. Our defense has been good. Our offense is last 2 games is played very well. So we're pleased with where we are right now.
Last question for you here, Coach, before we let you go for the evening. What did you do during the bye week? Obviously, you said some guys were able to get away, maybe go back home. Some guys stayed around and worked close to town. What did you do during the bye week?
Well, we worked as a staff. We worked. I did get to get out and do some kayaking and do some mountain biking with my wife.
There you
go. Got to
Good.
go to the Grand Canyon, which is an incredible sight. I'm not a big fan of heights, but and
you
that
and me
is
both.
We got a story for you about that later on, Coach.
And that is a big hole, but I mean that is a big deep hole.
It is. But it's kind of like one of those things where you like the Chevy Chase movie where you see it and you stand there and you go, all right, we saw it, and now what? I mean, there's not a whole lot of stuff around there to, let's go grab a bite to eat or whatever. But
it's a beautiful sight, but I'm not afraid of. I'm scared to death of heights, so that wasn't for me. But I mean, we got to spend some time with my wife, which is important. I haven't seen her for a couple months, so I mean, it was a good bye week.
Behind every good coach is a good coach's wife.
Oh,
there is
absolutely.
No doubt about that, Coach. And we know she's in your corner 100%. We appreciate you taking the time. Thanks again for joining us here tonight on the Wranglers Roundup. Congratulations again, 2-1, and we're just going to move forward and go on to Las Vegas.
That's it.
Take on those Nighthawks.
Well, it's my
Saturday
pleasure,
night.
guys. My
Absolutely.
pleasure.
Head coach Les Moss joining us here on the Wranglers Roundup. Stay tuned. We'll be right back here to the Colt Grill in beautiful Prescott Valley, Arizona. We'll talk with wide receiver Glen Gibbons Jr. right after the break. Stay with us.
If you're struggling to pay your energy bill or know someone who is, we're here to help. Find APS bill assistance programs to reduce your monthly payment or help pay down the bill. Short-term relief like crisis bill assistance can help during a rough patch, while our energy support program can reduce your bill every month. Explore all your assistance options and see if you qualify at aps.com/here to help.
You got a voice, Molly. Use it. Do it for the phone.
Let's do it for the phone. They do so much for you. When they're out there all alone, there's something we can do. T-Mobile, look at these maps, they don't lie. And faster speeds nationwide. Let's do it for the phones.
Folks, welcome back to the Colt Grill. This is the Wranglers Roundup Coaches Show. Ed Cole, James Poovey, and in between us, wide receiver Glen Gibbons Jr. This young man has been balling the last 2 weeks, 4 touchdowns in his last 2 games. GG Jr. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing, my friend?
Fantastic.
We'll start off with a question that we posed to Coach Moss there towards the end of the segment. What did you do during the bye week? Were you able to get away and have a little bit of fun, or did you just stay here and hit the weight room and maybe run some gassers outside?
So a lot of us did stay. We did run some gassers and put a lot of work in and
Okay.
stuff, but we did get away. We went to Phoenix for a day to sightsee and stuff. So just to see the scenery is really beautiful to see what Arizona has to offer.
And Glenn, just being able to like you said, spend time together and bond together as brothers during the bye week, that really helps strengthen the football team. They're in the midst of a 2-game winning streak. Why not continue to stay together as brothers and spend time and get to know each other more? Because that's really going to serve you so much well over the next 13 games.
Most definitely. That camaraderie that you have with a team, just being able to be with your brothers like the whole week and throughout the season, like it just builds so much up, and you really see that chemistry build off on the field and on and off. So
now you've really turned it on here over the past couple of games. You have 4 touchdowns over the last 2 games. What do you attribute the success of that to? And talk about your connection with yourself and the quarterback, Caleb Barker. How are you guys able to sync up so often?
first, I really just got to give it up to our O-line. Like the big boys up front really help us get it done. They give Caleb enough time, and they let the receivers work and get the ball. And
there's a smart wide receiver right here.
That's
for
right.
You, Ed.
Gives
Giving
love
it
to
up
his
to the
O-line.
O-line.
That's
because
right.
those guys get it done up front. Absolutely, Glenn.
That's right. Going up against this defense, we threw out all the numbers, number 1, number 2, all these different statistical categories in the IFL. How has that made you a better wide receiver, and how has that made this offense better? Because over the last 2 weeks against Bay Area and San Diego, it has exploded.
Most definitely. I mean, just being able to go up against the number one defense every day, it's special. And going against those guys, it definitely makes the offense better. And you've seen we've been able to start clicking and turning it on. So they definitely help push us. They bring the energy. So
now you've been here for a little bit now. You've been through training camp. You've had 3 games under your belt with this ball club. What does it mean to you to be a Northern Arizona Wrangler? If somebody comes up and says, I've never even heard of this team before, what are they all about? What would you tell them?
Man, it means so much. I really just tell everybody, like, you're going to have to come. You got to see the environment. Like, we have the best fans in the world. It's crazy just to see them all here and see them supporting us at the games, and we're getting autographs, and they love us. We love them. And just to be here and be a Northern Arizona Wranglers is amazing. So.
And Gigi, it's more than just the players and you guys going out there and executing. It's about your coaching staff, about Coach Moss and Coach Windsor and Coach Keefe and Coach Moran and all of their assistants. How important is it to have such a quality coaching staff to guide you and lead you and your brothers to all these victories?
It is so important. Just the coaching staff trust us to go out there and make plays, and we trust them, and they let us do what we do, and we appreciate them for it. And I mean, it's just great to have an awesome coaching staff with us that believes in you. It helps the game, and it helps us way better to just be able to compete and play.
Who would you say is the vocal leader, if you will, on offense? Who's the rah-rah guy, gets everybody jacked up when maybe the chips are down a little bit or we're down at halftime and we got to rally the troops? Who is that guy?
Quentin Randolph.
Quentin Randolph, number 3.
Okay.
All right.
Not a lot of people will believe that, but he's a talkative guy. So
I could kind of see that. I could see that.
Oh, in the locker room, who's your hype guy? Who's the guys that's got the jams rolling on the Bluetooth? Who gets you hyped up music wise?
Well, Jones always has the music going, always.
Of course.
But Mercado's always talking too. So it's they bring a lot of energy. It's just a fun environment to be in.
Oh, so Gigi, so 2-4 doesn't only talk on the field; he talks in the locker room too.
He talks in the locker room too.
Okay.
We actually just went bowling. He was talking in.
Oh
so.
boy!
Of course he was.
Talking
folks.
smack on the bowling lane. I like that very much. How exciting was it for you to score your first professional touchdown? What was that moment like?
It was a surreal moment. Kind of just like it was a blur. I just dropped the ball and just went into the fans and just hugged them, and then my teammates, they all gathered around me, and it's just like without them I couldn't have did it. So I appreciate them. So that's. Man,
good stuff.
Glenn, the numbers you put up over the last 2 weeks, what has that done for your confidence as a football player?
Just being able to get the balls in your hand and make plays, it just builds your confidence so much. And just continuing for my teammates to believe in me, it helps me just be able to be a tremendous football player, and I appreciate it. So, man, my confidence right now I'm trying to stay low, but this group of guys, it's hard not to be so energetic all the time.
Well, that's what you want from your teammates,
yeah.
right? You don't want to play with a bunch of guys that are, maybe we go out and practice hard today, maybe we don't.
Definitely.
These guys are on it. They're on 10 the entire time.
Every day.
And then you got even guys that are on 12 and 15 that like to
Every
talk
day.
a lot and get everything going.
Yes, sir.
How excited are you for this Saturday night at the Findlay Toyota Center to get another chance at those Vegas Nighthawks?
I'm so excited just because I feel like for the offense, we didn't get a real good representation of what we bring to the table, and just to get another crack at them, especially in our hometown, it's going to be a great show, and you're not going to want to miss it.
And Glenn, it really is special to have a relationship. As you mentioned, you talked about Caleb earlier, just that relationship between a wide receiver and a quarterback. That's pretty special when you guys are clicking like you have been over the last 2 weeks.
Oh, most definitely. Caleb is just a great leader in general, and he tries to make sure we're all on the same page. And just him making sure we're on the same page, he makes the game a lot easier for us.
What major differences have you noticed from the outdoor to the indoor arena game? I'm sure there's got to be some stuff that stick out to you.
Other than the wall, it's,
that wall that doesn't budge,
the wall is undefeated.
Yeah, the wall is undefeated. You're exactly right.
Just fast pace. The game is definitely moving at a faster pace. You got to make quick decisions very instantly. So
it really is a different atmosphere than the outdoor game than what you're used to.
Most definitely.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, we appreciate it. We wish you nothing but continued success, and we'd love to call out a few more of those Glen Gibbons touchdowns there in the end zone, whether it be here in Prescott Valley or anywhere else for that matter.
Yeah,
right?
Glenn, keep us busy up in the broadcast booth on Saturday.
Yeah,
Can you do that?
I can definitely do that for
Okay,
you.
please.
I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Absolutely. Wide receiver Glen Gibbons Jr. joining us here on the Wranglers Roundup. Stay with us. We got another guest coming your way next. It's Darth Vada, the man on the defensive side of the football for the Wranglers. He's going to join us next after the break. The linebacker coming up next. Stay with us here. We'll be right back to the Colt Grill in beautiful Prescott Valley, Arizona in just a little bit.
If you're struggling to pay your energy bill or know someone who is, we're here to help. Find APS bill assistance programs to reduce your monthly payment or help pay down the bill. Short-term relief like crisis bill assistance can help during a rough patch, while our energy support program can reduce your bill every month. Explore all your assistance options and see if you qualify at aps.com/here to help.
Mosquitoes, ticks, pests, the worst. They can spread diseases. She goes round and round the whole yard, sometimes twice. Look at that toy. Yeah, the cobwebs. Fascinating. Danke, Orken.
Welcome back to the Colt Grill here in Prescott Valley, Arizona. James Poovey alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole. Ed, we're pleased to bring on number 44 now, Darth Vada. Vada King from the Northern Arizona Wranglers linebacker. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Hey, we're doing great. We appreciate you joining us here, and we're going to talk a little bit of Wranglers football.
Okay, thank you for having me. Yes, sir.
Reigning Defensive Player of the Week,
How
Vada
about
King.
that?
Yes,
IFL Defensive Player of the Week. How much fun are you having on this ball club? Talk about your teammates a little bit and just your experience overall here with this team so far.
I'm having a lot of fun. I've been out of ball for about 2 years, so it's been a great experience. It's been a great team, and everybody came extremely close over a short period of time leading up to the season because we only had like 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
prepare.
not even 2
basically.
weeks, really.
Barely.
How does that happen? How do guys come together so quickly in a game like this that usually takes a lot more time to gel, especially offensively?
I think it has a great part to do with the coaches and how they recruit players. They brought in a lot of players that kind of could relate, came from the same area.
Sure.
So when we came in, it's real easy to gel.
You're another one of those Alabama guys,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah, there's some kind of connection we got to figure out with Coach Moss and the state of Alabama, but go ahead, Ed.
It is something special. So, Vada, you mentioned you were out of football for 2 years. How did your process come for you to become a Northern Arizona Wrangler? Talk us through that.
My process, it was rusty. It was rough. For about 2 years, I went from job to job, trying to find my way. I just got out of college, and coach, he gave me a call, and I came out. I took a chance, and I came out, and it worked out. I'm having a lot of fun. The most fun I had in 2 years.
And the rest is history, right?
Yes, sir.
That's right.
This
Yes,
defense is really playing well, and you specifically How are you able to compete at such a high level, game in and game out, especially being out of the game for 2 years? I mean, that people that have never played the game before don't understand that most of the time when you're out for at least a year or so, that's usually it.
Yes, sir. I think it had a great part to do to my the coaching staff, Coach Keith and Coach Dave Moran. It was coming in. They kind of just prepared me for everything. Just even like coverage wise, coming into the season, one of my weaknesses was in the pass game.
Okay,
but I came in and he broke the game down for me pretty much. So he made a lot of things easy, and then conditioning and everything just prepared me. And so I'm at it now. I'm ready.
Yes, you are.
Vada, we talked with Glen. We talked about the word confidence and how he's playing so well over the last 2 weeks, and you've been balling out again, defensive player of the week, and just getting sacks and tackles and just all over the field. James and I are just marveling at what you do in the field.
Man.
We see 4-4 all over the place. We're my goodness, does this kid ever stop running? But the confidence that you have, does that continue to build from week to week as you play well, as you get defensive player of the week awards, and you just feel better about yourself because again, you've been out of the game for 2 years, but you come in and you start balling like you do? How is your confidence level?
My confidence level is high, but I always try to kind of remain like humble and just remember where I came from, because I feel like it's easy to become complacent in this game. Like winning that award next week coming in, it's a new game, so I just gotta prepare like I prepared that first game that I won that award. So every week the confidence level it remains the same for the most part. Yes, sir.
What did you do last week during the bye week, Vada? Did you stay around here, or were you able to get back to back home for a little bit? What happened?
I wish I could have went back to Alabama, but for the most part, I spent most of this time up in the mountains. I went hiking a few times.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Exploring Arizona a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Was this your first time here?
Yes, sir. It's my first time being
Okay,
out west.
okay.
Yes, sir.
So obviously Coach Moss was not with you because
No,
he does not like heights. I was not with you. James was not with you because we are terrified of heights. Good luck. Good luck.
Ed says he's terrified of heights, but I'll tell you another story later.
Look, Coach is scared of heights too. I don't know if he told you that, but he went to the
He
Grand
did.
Canyon.
He
Yeah.
did.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
he told us.
Yeah.
That's a big hole. He
Yeah,
said.
it is.
And I don't want to fall in
I
it.
don't need.
I know
No,
that
sir.
for certain.
No, sir. Vegas. We're still thinking about week one. We know they're coming in. They're a good football team. They got smacked around pretty good against the Rattlers recently, but they're still a quality football team. We saw it a few weeks ago in their season opener. When you watch film, what do you see about Vegas? Have they changed much from week one as you get ready for them on Saturday?
As we watch Vegas, I seen that they're a great team. Week one, they played. We didn't play our best game, so I know when we prepare this week, when we go in, the offense they're well put together now. The defense we're well put together, so it's gonna be a great game. Yes, sir.
How different is it, Vada, not being able to practice against a whole lot of guys? Obviously, when you play 11-man football, you got a lot more guys on the scout team and
Yes,
so
sir.
forth. But now you come down, and it's really, I've seen it, just a couple of guys working together in a certain group. How does that work? I mean, does that make you better?
I feel like it really does make you better because it's more unity. It's kind of like it's not really any ones or twos. Everybody's playing. So
Right.
So you practicing against your brothers. So it's just making the whole team's getting better as we practice because you don't have 11 guys on. You know, what I'm
Everybody's got to be invested in the process,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Absolutely.
And that's what I was going to ask. We asked Glen Gigi about how he's gotten better because of what you guys are doing defensively in practice. So how is going up against this vaunted offense making you better as a player in practice?
Going up against our offense, it's amazing. Being out of this game for 2 years and coming in and seeing the talent that we have, it's a blessing. It's truly a blessing to be playing with these guys.
And how was it easy for you to kind of get used to the speed of the indoor football game, considering you've been out of the game for 2 years?
It was pretty easy. My acclimation back into it was pretty smooth. I prepared back home for a while, so I've been training for 2 years. So coming into the game, I kind of already had a feel because when I was younger, I'm from Smith Station, Alabama, but in Columbus, Georgia, it's an indoor league. The Civic Center is a Civic Center down there. The Columbus Lions play for them. But I played Little League there, so I had a feel for the indoor, how fast it was, and I really like it more. I don't want to say I like it more than outdoor football, but it's just more fast paced. It's harder hits, and I can get from sideline to sideline.
Spoken like a truly defensive guy. I love it,
Yeah.
Vada. How was it when you were preparing over the last 2 years, not knowing if you were going to get back in the game or not, and kind of you seem like you kind of had to bet on yourself and say, hey,
Yes,
if I get the chance, I'm going to be ready.
Yes, sir. That process of just preparing and training without knowing what the future may hold, it was rough. I had my days where I questioned if I still wanted to play the game, but I always just knew that one day my chance would come, and it came. So,
and you're taking full advantage of it. Let me
Yes,
tell
sir.
you what, my
Yes.
friend.
And how important was your family during that process when you were out of the game and you're just kind of wondering, what is my future? And then when your future came, when Coach Moss called you,
Yes,
how
sir.
important was your family to keep you strengthened and keep you motivated?
My family was everything. Family's been everything for me since I was a child. So, especially my mother. Oh yeah, I want to tell you, thank you for your service. I saw you were a Marine.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
My parents, my mother and my father, they both served 20 plus years in the U.S. Army. So, yeah,
Thank them for their service.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you. But yeah, they kept me strong. They kept me believing in myself. So, yes, sir. Family was everything. Yes,
Well,
sir.
hopefully they get to enjoy you playing now. Hopefully they're watching the games on YouTube and everything every week.
Yes,
and
sir.
we're blessed to have you on
Thank you,
on
sir.
the team. And you've been playing well. We wish you continued success. Thanks for coming on here with us tonight.
Thank
And
you,
it was a
thank
pleasure to finally meet you in
Thank you.
person.
Nice
We
meeting
don't
you
get a
too,
chance
sir.
to get down there
Thank you, Vada.
often
Yes,
on
sir.
the field after the game because there's so much hullabaloo. And
Yes,
by the
sir.
time we get down there, most of you guys are either in the shower or you're already at Cane's getting something to eat or whatever the case.
And then
may
here's
be.
the thing: let them enjoy the
yes.
fans. Let them sign
Oh,
autographs
yes.
and take
Yeah.
pictures because
Yes,
that's
yes,
what we do
yes.
as an organization. We take care of the fans. We take care of the community, right, Vada?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely
That's
right.
true.
Linebacker Vada King here, the reigning IFL Defensive Player of the Week, joining us here on the Wranglers Roundup. Stay with us. We'll come back here to the Colt Grill in Prescott Valley to wrap things up. Another beautiful night here in Prescott Valley, Arizona at the Colt Grill. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
How's the internet looking for you?
Well, I'm just trying to get it open still.
Well, it's acting up again?
Yes.
Oh, man.
We live in such an interconnected world at this point that completely relies on internet service for just about everything. And kind of feels like you're a little bit left out.
Wireless internet is an absolute necessity. Small towns have been underserved for far too long.
I work from home as a teacher, and it's a very difficult situation if I have a bad internet connection.
We have to have the internet. That's our only way to do our jobs.
I'll try to open something, I'll have internet lag, my program will crash, and it's really inconsistent.
Internet here is like a small car payment, and that's a big chunk of money.
But when you don't get all that you pay for, that's infuriating.
Our internet service and our phone service are both pretty inconsistent. Calls dropping in areas where we don't have internet. It's frustrating.
Can you hear me? I'm looking for reliability, consistency, and if I'm not happy, I want to talk to a real human being.
Flashing broadband line. Unfortunately, there's really not a lot of options for us.
Small towns are writing a new economic chapter, but this requires a strong, fast, and reliable digital infrastructure. It's about people believing that they're cared about and connected to a future where they can thrive.
It doesn't feel right that we're getting left behind and not getting the same service that people in bigger cities get. That's just our reality.
We know there have been limited choices for affordable wireless and fast and reliable home internet. Entire parts of this country are left without a choice. Now that our merger with Sprint is complete, we have invested billions of dollars to bring America's largest and fastest 5G network to where you live.
We are bringing wireless and high-speed home internet beyond the big cities and into hometowns across America.
That's what we mean when we say 5G for all.
Folks, welcome back. This is the Colt Grill. This is the Wranglers Roundup Coaches Show. Ed Cole, James Poovey here. We are your voices of the Northern Arizona Wranglers. The Wranglers are getting ready for the Vegas Nighthawks, round 2 against the Vegas Nighthawks at the Pinnacle Bank Field at Finley Toyota Center. James, we are excited for that matchup, that rematch.
I am really excited now, especially after this great show we had here tonight. We had Coach Les Moss joining us. wide receiver Glen Gibbons Jr., and linebacker Vada King. It was a jam-packed show. We had a great time. We hope you did too. And next up, Saturday night, 6:05 p.m. at the Finley Toyota Center, it'll be the Vegas Nighthawks in town to battle your Northern Arizona Wranglers, the rematch, Ed.
Yes. So, folks, come on out. Get your tickets. Go to NAZWranglers.com. You can get your tickets. Call the ticket office and get some really good seats because it's some really good football being played up here in Prescott Valley. We do not want you to miss it.
Special thanks to Tucker Welch for helping us get everything set up here tonight. For my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole, I'm James Poovey saying so long from the Colt Grill here in Prescott Valley, Arizona. Another edition of the Wranglers Roundup in the books. Thanks again to our special guests for joining us tonight, and make sure and make plans to be back with us 2 weeks from tonight right here inside the Colt Grill for another edition of the Wranglers Roundup. Everybody have a great night. Stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday night at the Finley Toyota Center as we take on those Nighthawks. Have a great night, and go Wranglers.
Go Wranglers.